Hey guys, how we doing? Welcome into another video. 4 hours ago, they released a patch notes for 4.1, and it's the game director commentary. So there's a lot of things in here that they're going through, and they've discussing the feedback of 4.0 and everything that happened. I was currently in the process of recording a video of 4.0. We did it yesterday on stream, and just as I was about to release it, they went, "Oh, 4.1 is now released." So we're going to go through 4.1. If you do like this kind of content, guys, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. But yeah, let's get into it and let's break down everything that this 4.0 has got to offer. So, patch notes 4.1 and game director commentary. So, hi Space Marines, as we discussed last week, we've been monitoring your feedback since the last Thursday's patch 4.0. So it's not even been a week since 4.0 came out. And I have decided to address your most pressing concerns with new balancing updates coming this Thursday. So as of recording and as of releasing, it should be tomorrow, Thursday, from what we can see. Before we get into details of the new patch, we want to thank you for all being so involved with the game and making your opinions heard. I don't know whether going onto Steam and review bombing it is getting your word out, but that seems to make an impact on the guys at FOCUS and SABER, so it worked. I don't know if it's the right way or the wrong way. Let me know in the comments what you think. But yeah, it's got out there. It's got out there. While we notice criticisms with regard to the difficulty adjustment, and rightly so, we'd also like to thank you for your very positive feedback on the new termination map. So yeah, termination, I really like it. It's definitely a really good fun mission to do. So I can't wait to do a bit more on that one. As of releasing this video Thursday, we will be live at some point on Thursday to start playing through some of this. So if you want to join and you want to come and join with maybe some of the lethal difficulty, then head over to twitch.tv/Logan with a 4 and you can join us on those streams and ask to join if you want to. No matter the feedback, we're grateful that you feel so passionate about Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. The key takeaway for me personally is that I forgot that once the game comes out, it's no longer a dev's game. It's your first and foremost. If it's not fun at the end of the day, then why else do we play the game? And once it's gone out and we've already started playing the game, we're having really good loads of fun. If you're going to make it difficult, push it for onto another difficulty or test it first. That's so I think this is why moving forward we'd like to harness the energy by establishing a public test server. They would let try our major balancing updates and make your voices heard before they are pushed into the public branches. We're hoping to make these available around early 2025, so stay tuned to the channel for more information. I think that is an absolutely amazing way to go. Public test servers are so good at times, and I will be joining those public test servers to test the new balancing and see how they go, so that we can do some more reviews on the channel, so we can see how and get your feedbacks as well, because that'll be a big thing for me. So gameplay balancing tweaks to operations mode. So the AI director and enemy spawns. So DG, which is Dmitry Grigorenko, please don't have a go at me for butchering his name. I do apologize, but I'm pretty sure it's Dmitry Grigory Enko. I can't pronounce the surname, but DG for short. Here are our reasons before patch 4.0. The game came out in September. Ruthless mode win rates hovered around 60%. I gotta say, once I got my characters up to the higher levels, I don't really think I've failed many of the ruthlesses. So I do get it that they didn't want that to be such a bigger win rate. But yeah, I think there's definitely better ways of going about it. Weeks later, and with the changes introduced in Patch 3.0, we saw the same win rate jump to over 80%, and received a lot of feedback stating the game had become too easy, even at the maximum difficulty at the time. With 4.0, our aim was to tweak enemy spawns to increase the overall number of enemies rather than reverting to buffing their health. Unfortunately, this had an impact on the easier difficulty levels as well. Yeah, so I found that I went into sort of the lowest difficulty just yesterday on stream, joined by a friend who never played the game, so of course he was level 1. So I was like, yeah, we'll go in there and we'll start playing at level 1. My God, the amount of enemies, the amount of extremists that came into that was ridiculous for the difficulty level. But yeah, hopefully they'll have kind of changed that a little bit. For example, the win rate on the easiest difficulty dropped slightly in patch 4.0 from 95 to 93. This may look like a lot, but numbers aren't everything. Your feedback made it clear the game had become more intense and stressful on the lower difficulties. And this is never our intention. As I've personally emphasised in interviews, Space Marine 2 is all about the power fantasy. 4.0 negatively impacted it for many of you. I get that, 100% get that. So this is why we're rolling back the changes. Extremist enemies spawn rates in minimal, average, and substantial difficulty will revert back to pre-patch 4.0 levels and will significantly be reduced in ruthless difficulty to hopefully strike a balance between how hard the game was at launch and how easy it became in patch 3.0. So minimal, average, and substantial difficulties reduce in extreme spawn rates of extremist enemies pre-patch 4.0 levels. I get that. Ruthless, a significant spawn rate reduction of extremist enemies. That I think was a really good idea for sure. So weapons only in operations mode. We've been wanting to address Bolter family for a while, as they've been underperforming across all difficulties. They're not the greatest. Bolters are definitely not your go-to. You're talking your plasma cannons, you're talking your melters, you're talking your las rifles. You don't want to take a bolt rifle. It just doesn't seem to be as powerful when you've got these heavy hitting weapons, for sure. So it's definitely they definitely need tweaking, and by the looks they are definitely going to be doing that. This has been a frequent piece of feedback from many of you, and the data confirms improvements were needed across the board. The percentage damage increases based on which class has have access to which kind of weapon, and the bolters complete with the other options available to compete with the other options available. So the auto bolt rifle has been increased by 20%. The bolt rifle has been increased by 10%. The heavy bolt rifle increased by 15%. The stalker bolt rifle is increased by 10%. Marksman bolt carbine by 10%. Instigator bolt carbine by 10% as well. The bolt sniper rifle has been increased by 12.5%. I'm pretty much a sniper main. I love the sniper. So knowing that we can go into the bolt sniper, I'm probably going to start playing that one a little bit more and see if we get see what the differences are, because to start off with, I wasn't very keen on it. The bolt carbine has been increased by 15%. The Oculus bolt carbine increased by 15%, and the heavy bolter has also been increased by 5%. So that's not a very big one, but that's still increase. So yeah, I think this right here is definitely a very good change for sure. So hopefully it makes a change to what we're doing going forwards. So difficulty. Ruthless players' armor has been increased by 10%. We are potentially rolling back the changes from a previous patch on Ruthless difficulty following your feedback. With patch 4.1, we're hoping to find the right compromise between how easy Ruthless difficulty felt after patch 3.0 and how it felt after last week's patch 4.0. Ruthless did change quite a bit between 3.0 and 4.0 massively. It didn't, I could go in there and go in for some randoms, and not really worry about it. Now, going in with those randoms becomes a lot harder. The reason why we reduced it last week was that we noticed a very substantial bump in win rates on Ruthless after patch 3.0, as Minora's enemies would no longer remove an entire armor bar with their attacks. That makes sense. Ranged AI damage was nerfed across the board, and the ability to regenerate armor from parrying normal Minoris enemies attacks was added. So yeah, so you'd get armor by just doing those parries of the normal ones. So I get why they were kind of thinking, you know what, they're going to have a lot more armor coming back, and things like that. So I do get that. Additional notes: despite the last patch notes listing a decrease in armor in substantial difficulty, this chain was mistakenly left out of our last update, hence why we won't see it being reverted as part of this week's patch. Okay, makes sense. Lethal's tight formation system is removed. I've got to say that I feel like it's a good idea. I don't think that it is a bad thing. I just feel like they kind of put it in at the wrong place. I feel like this should definitely be something for maybe, cool, we're going to do this weekly event. This is the thing. Go into this lobby. I think that'd be really cool, but I don't think to have it as a regular thing was the greatest. But let's see what they've got to say. Before anything else, let us clarify our reasoning for introducing this mechanic. As we worked on adding a new difficulty tier, we needed to make sure this challenge was meaningful and interesting. With tight formations, our objective was to add a new layer of challenge for our most skilled players by adding horizontal progression rather than just vertical progression, i.e. dealing more damage to ever stronger enemies. So basically, the enemies would get stronger and so would your weapons, and you just have to do more and more damage. So I get that. This game is about power fantasy and enemies that take dozens of melee hits to break it. Thus, the challenge needed to come from other sources. This system was designed as a first step towards introduction of gameplay modifiers down the line, both negative and positive, something World War Z players will be familiar with. But your feedback showed that the proximity required felt too restrictive. Classes like the Assault and the Vanguard felt especially penalised as playing them effectively required a certain freedom of movement. Yeah, 100%. Like, I felt that with the Sniper. You feel like you need to stand really far back to snipe a few people, but then you're losing that contingency. It would be nice, maybe rather than making the entire squad, if you're the sniper and you're a little bit further back, if you're linked next to somebody, those people can still do what they need to do. But with a sniper at the back, it doesn't stop everybody being linked together. I feel like that might be a way to kind of fix it. So as a result, we're removing the system entirely and will continue to work on modifiers until they are ready. We will continue to monitor your feedback after deployment of patch 4.1 to make sure lethal difficulty feels as challenging and as rewarding as it should. 100% it should be rewarding, 100% it should be challenging. It is meant to be that lethal difficulty. But yeah, the tight formation, I feel that it needed a bit more work, but I feel that the modifiers down the line 100% are a good thing going forwards, and I definitely feel that they should be put into the game. How they should be put into the game, I don't know. I feel like we should have probably had a little bit of a, let's drop it into some patch notes and go, this is what lethal's going to be. People would know about it before. Going into it on day one of 4.0 and not really knowing what's going on, you kind of get a little bit lost in it. So I get where they're coming from. So tweaks to the AI. A recurrent piece of feedback we've seen is that the AI allies can feel useless at times. We already improved the AI's behavior in patch 3.0, and we hope the additional buff will help solo players complete their operations. Bots deal 30% more damage to bosses. Fighting zoanthropes is often reported as a source of frustration. Alongside the changes in the AI director, we're taking away some of their shield's effectiveness to alleviate some of the frustration. So shield swap cooldown with another paired zoanthrope is increased by 10%. Not a lot, but it'll hopefully stop that kind of swap. One thing I do think that they need to do, and let me know down in the comments if you think that this is something that you feel should be done as well. But the zoanthropes should be able to be attacked by the Vanguard. The Vanguard should be able to grapple to them and bring them to the floor, almost into like a stun animation. Stops them attacking, makes them a bit more vulnerable to your melee, things like that. Even if it means that the Vanguard gets thrown off them, I think it should be a thing. Why else? You're a Space Marine. Going up 20 foot in the air and attaching yourself to a zoanthrope is not something that you're going to be afraid to do. So, Focus, if you ever see this video, please, let's see it. I want to see us be able to grapple with the Vanguard up onto a zoanthrope and bring it to the floor. I feel like it's a really, really good gameplay loop that we should be seeing, to be honest, for sure. So general fixes and tech. Fix to the bug that causes roll distance to be shorter than before. Okay, so that was actually a bug. It wasn't a thing that they put into the game. This was probably the most impactful and annoying consequence of 4.0. While iframes were the same, the distance difference made it much less effective versus range attacks. We have fixed this bug. You should feel a great improvements to your fight against ranged enemies and bosses. So fix the bug with unlocking lethal difficulty reward decals as well, and crashes and fixes general stability improvements. Our team is constantly working on improvements to the game's stability. This patch is no exception. You should encounter fewer crashes. That's it for 4.1. Your feedback is absolutely invaluable to us, and we are looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this new update. The Emperor protects the Space Marine 2 team. You know what? For 4.1 being released only less than a week ago as of recording this video, and only a week from 4.1, how quickly they have got these changes out, I think, is an absolutely amazing thing. So congratulations to the Saber the Space Marine 2 team. I am 100% behind you on this one. I feel like the changes that they've done to revert them back are absolutely amazing. The thoughts of the future and all the the modifiers, things like that, I think are really, really good as well. So guys, if you have enjoyed this video, then please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Please do join me over on stream at twitch.tv/Logan with a 4, where you can come and join me. I am more than welcoming to let people come and join the streams, because I want to be able to play with the community. So come over, come play a few games. And while you are there, guys, please head over to Dubby.gg, grab yourself 10% off using code Logan for all of your energy drink needs. Freaking amazing. Absolutely love them. I game with them all the time, as you will see when we're on stream. But other than that, guys, until next time, thank you very much for being here. Peace.
Okay, bye.